Okay, so a bit of a quick demo for you of the profile I very rapidly put together. I'm just going to pause this video for a second. And this profile is for the Ecamm and Capsho challenge, and it's to allow you to record vertical video in Ecamm. So in order to record vertical video, if it hasn't done so already, then you're going to want to go up into preferences in Ecamm and choose your stream size as tall, because that's what we want for this particular profile. I imagine the profile itself is going to jump straight in correctly anyway. So you should have been able to download this from the Stream Profiles store. Once you have downloaded it, you just double click on the file and it should jump straight in. It's a little bit of housekeeping at the very end of this video, but in fact, let's do it at the beginning of the video instead. So download the profile. If you have any problems with the link for the profile, you might want to try a different email address, because very occasionally Selfie doesn't like people's email addresses, so it should deliver it to you pretty much instantaneously. You won't have to enter credit card details. You'll just put 0 in when it comes to how much is it going to cost, and it will then give you that for free, and it will automatically sign you up to my email mailing list, which you can opt out of if you really want to. But all you then do is put this into a safe place. So don't leave it in your downloads folder, and don't leave it in your desktop in case it gets sucked up by iCloud. So put it into a safe location, either on your hard drive and an external drive. Then once it's there, you just double click on it and that will bring up this profile I have created. So it's a very simple profile. Bit of an odd presentation for you here because I've had to do a screen recording, due to the fact that if I try and record it in any other way, it looks a bit mad. So this is what you've got: a bunch of different scenes with 1 person, 2 people and 3 people, and also one with a couple of people and a screen share as well. So let's just take you through the little components that we have on different elements. So if we look at the very first one, that has obviously got the nice Capsho logo in there, and also my logo and text, etc. So you're going to want to put in your own name, because unless your name is Martin. So just click on that, change the text. The cameras are all set to camera A. If your camera is not camera A, then you're going to want to go and change it in the video source, and you'll have to do that on each scene. The logo is the Ecamm logo and Capsho. In order to make that stand out a bit, I've actually put a little rectangle over the top with a blend mode on it. And if I turn that off, you'll see that that goes sort of grey. And by putting the blend mode over the top, it's brought out the highlights of the colours and contrasts. So that's what's given me that sort of nice effect there. You're going to want to add in your own logo here. So you can either get rid of that one totally and drop your own one in, or you can come in and use the replace asset function. If your logo happens to be square, then it should drop it in the correct place, but I find it doesn't always do that. So you might need to mess about a little bit with this and where your logos are positioned, but you can try replace asset if you have a square logo and see how that goes. So there's also in the background a box, and the reason for that is it gives me that nice little indent feature which I like the look of. You can get rid of that box if you want to. It has to sit on every scene because Ecamm won't let you put that in the background as a smaller object. So without the box, it looks quite smart anyway, but with the box I think it looks a little bit better. So it's got an overlay mode on the box and a little shadow, and that's what's allowing me to get that little 3D effect. And on a similar basis, there's one in showing background, which is on every single slide or every scene. If I get rid of that highlight, then it makes it flat. If I add the highlight in, then I got a kind of 3D effect again on that particular element. A couple of choices in the background, and this will affect every single scene. So you can either choose to have the rectangle, which I have currently in place just there, or if I hide that, then you're going to see what things look like in black, I guess. And then I can bring on the slightly more textured Capsho version of the background. If that's what you prefer, then just change it once down at the bottom, and it will change in every scene. So it's as simple as that, really. Won't be paused for 1 second. So yeah, it's as simple as that. That's how all the scenes are set out and how you change them and how things look slightly different. If you want to go grab that rectangle and change the colouring, then you can do. You can change the fill. I've got it as some sort of Capsho colours, so I like that. There's the little gradient wheel that you can move the gradient around a bit if you want, but you can go in and change to plain color if that's what you want. You could also drop in your own background here as well. So you will want to make your background 1920 high by 1080 wide. And you can literally drop in any picture you like and drop into show in background, and you will have your own background which will appear against every single one of these. So each of the cameras beyond number 1 is set to guest 1 and guest 2. So if they're not your cameras, then change them. If you're bringing somebody in via Zoom, then you bring them in via Zoom, you add them to the show, and then you allocate your guest to guest number 1. So if it's Sheena, then you add Sheena to the show, and then you allocate Sheena to place number 1 or guest number 1. Well, we've got a screen share here. I've got a little placeholder there. It's kind of squarish rather than the traditional shape. So if I am sharing my Keynote deck, then the thing to do there is to put a standard Keynote deck up there, but just use the center of the screen in Keynote. And then when you share that, that should come out nicely. The Keynote needs to be playing in a separate window, and you need to then go and select, as you would normally do with Ecamm, for your screen share, the source of the screen share to be Keynote. So mine's showing primary display at the moment. You don't want it to do that. You want it to say Keynote down here. So Keynote isn't running at the moment for me, but if it was, that's where it would be. You could also drop anything else you wanted in there. So you could put a web widget in there or a box with some text, and change the size of the box. So if I add in a box here, I think it will give me a giant box. Yeah, it gives me a giant box because that's the shape I used last. But you would want to take that box and then size it to the size of the overlay area, and then just drop your text in over the top, and then you'll get that nice layout going again. Could put anything else in there as well. You could put a video and crop your video, or you could put a web widget or anything you want really into that space if that's what you want to do. And I have just left that space for the third person if we have 3 people as well, and placed a camera in that location. So I think that's probably all from the very, very brief Capsho for Ecamm tutorial on how to use this particular profile. Hopefully you like it, and I look forward to seeing a couple of people using this. Okay, see you later. Cheerio. Bye from Edinburgh.